Trophy earned virgin! I got it! Oh, that is so dope.
Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something wrong.
I'm a virgin.
We're helping to save the king.
I'm officially a virgin.
I'd rather find that horse than you murdered my parents. Get the sword back from him, skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna iuba!
I'm finally a virgin! Yay! I got a trophy for being a virgin! Woo! Deus Vult, everybody, Deus Vult. Man, I love being a good old Christian boy. I love being a good old Christian boy what been on them there crusades. Kept my hymen and my behymen fully intact throughout the whole game. There was that one close call, but I managed to fucking X-nay that vagina. I saw that vagina coming and I fucking frame perfect parried that shit. Boosh, just out of here. Get that virginity intact. Get that vagina out of here. That's what I did. That shit was tight. Fucking loved it. God, this goddamn game is shitty as hell in so many different ways. But I got to be a virgin. I got to be a knight. I got the Deus Vult a little bit. And I actually enjoyed the combat. The combat's pretty fun. It's pretty fun combat. It's just, you don't get to do it nearly enough. You just don't get to do it nearly enough. Oh, and that's it. That's the end of the game. It actually kills there. Maybe because, maybe it's possible. It might actually kill it there because it wants to pick up the DLC at that spot. It might be that. Man, that music playing and everything. Jesus. Man, that was fucking wild. Fucking wild. What happens if I continue? It just loads my last save, right? I can only imagine it loads the last save I had. So that's it. That's fucking Kingdom Came. Kingdom Comed and Kingdom Camed. All over the place. Man. Fucking got my virginity. I got my virginity. I kept it the whole game. I never lost it. That is so cool. I had that one chick who wanted me to impregnate her. I had Teresa, who I knew if I pursued Lubu, I would have ended up midis a coitus. But I Kingdom Camed. I did not came at all. I Kingdom did not come. And so I ended the game as a virgin. That was great. Virginity. Virginity. Yeah, see, it just loads right here. Now, go figure. Internet. Kingdom Come. What a wild ride. What a weird game. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I was really excited. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's bullet point this, right? Let's review this game really quick. Very amazingly good atmosphere, especially for a game that is basically an indie title. I mean, it's basically an indie title masquerading as a AAA game. Very good atmosphere. It's really, really good. The whole game is based off of a simulation of being in medieval times, and it's very realistic and very simulation. That is a pro, because the atmosphere is really, really good. It feels good. When you're in, like, the forest and you're hunting shit, you feel extremely immersed. I like that a lot. Now, that pro has a little bit of a con there, and it's actually quite a bit of a con. It's not really a little one to me. The con is that it is so devoted to being simulation that it really doesn't do the video game stuff that improves quality of life. So a lot of the quality of life video game things are not there. Case in point, having to eat, having to sleep, having to, your weight, having to carry things, how much you can carry. All of it really bogs down the system. It makes the game take a lot longer. The traveling distance, having to travel, even the fast travel, you're literally moving, along the roads. There's no quick jump or anything like that. You have to move normally just by foot, on hoof or by foot. You have to go through the whole game world. You kill so much time traveling in this game and just moving around. You just to talk to one guy at some camp out in the middle of nowhere, and then you have to walk all the way back to where you came. And then you're not even done. You have to go do that again a bunch more times. It is really tiring. It is really tiring. While that immersive atmosphere is cool initially, and I liked it for a lot of the game, it got tiring after like hour 20. Hour 20, I just wanted to get things done. I wanted to get to where I was going. I was exhausted. It doesn't help that there's not a whole lot of variation on like random encounters when you're moving around. Bandits are pretty standard. They're not a threat, or they just. I really did not get a lot of random stuff happen. Random events really didn't happen. So it was a boring. So the trip around the world is really boring. It's just boring. There's nothing really happens. Even when I was quick traveling there, yeah, I liked getting into fights, but they just didn't happen often. And when they did, it was always like a bandit or two that I could just one shot. And that's later in the game. Early in the game, combat was very, very difficult, and that's where a lot of the fun was. But at the same time, like, the flaw of the game really comes up to just there's not enough combat. It really just, that's not enough combat, and it's not engaging. So that's the pro and con. That's the biggest pro and con I could really throw out there, is just that structure of the game is not so much a video game as it is a simulation, and that kind of bogs it down. It bogs itself down because of that. Probably isn't that big of a deal. I think it's still a good game. I actually do think it's a good game. It's just really buggy. It's got a lot of janky shit to it. Like I said, it's a indie game masquerading as a AAA. It's going to have that kind of problem. There's just no polish on this game whatsoever. But you can largely get through it. I think most people should have an okay experience with the game. They might not walk away with it very happy. I'm walking away pretty about it, I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm glad I played it. I'm really glad I beat it. I'm glad I hung out and beat it. But man, I'm done. I'm good. I don't even think I'm interested in any DLC, Like, if the DLC comes out and it continues the story, we'll see where I'm at. But honestly, I'm probably just like whatever about it. The combat is definitely a really cool thing when you understand how to do it, that you need to block, basically that you just need to lock on and block. It's fun learning how to do that and kind of working yourself into that mentality of how to fight. Once you know how to do that, the game really doesn't have any depth to it, and so you feel like, well, this is really simple. Pretty much the same problem with For Honor, in that it really is just kind of that way. When I was playing For Honor, you have the same directional blocking concept, but it's only 3 directions and it's implemented pretty differently. I mean, they're quite different, but the end result is still a very simple layer of mechanics. For Honor, there's more of a depth to it because it's a competitive game. There's player against player, so naturally there's going to be a bit more depth to it. However, just from the combat side of just computer, CPU, basic AI, it really did boil down to just, you don't want to swing too much because they will parry riposte you. And when you do swing, you're just looking to get your combo out if you can, so you're not really just like throwing out a random swing. The one thing you can never really do either is Fate, where you hold the weapon in place and then change your direction, and it looks like you're about to swing, but you don't. The AI doesn't care. The AI it never responds to that. It doesn't matter whether you held it down or not. So the combat, like, even though that definitely is, for me, for most of the game, that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I like engaging in, even after I knew how to do it, I still wanted to do more of it because it was kind of fun. It was simple, but kind of fun. I couldn't get into combat enough. So that's really the big problem. There's just not enough opportunities to fight things. And then on top of that, the system is designed for lock-on, and you've got multiple opponents. You can't log on to more than one, and switching between them is just it's really an exercise in futility. It's so fucking hard to do anything with this fucking game when you are locked on. It's impossible. You can't do anything when you're one guy here. You're trying to press R3. You're trying to get it over the way. You break lock-on with circles, so you kind of run a little bit. And then they all take opportunities to swing at you when you break out of lock-on because you can't block. When you're not in lock-on, they can hit you for free, and you could turn the tables and do it to them, which happens a lot too. So, it is what it is. Fucking, it's really sad. Combat-wise, I mean, it could have been really, really great. It ended up not being so great. But it is yet still the thing that I'm walking away with. I'm going to think, I actually enjoyed the combat. That's what I'm thinking right now, is I enjoyed the combat. I just didn't get to do it nearly enough. I guess really that's it. The writing was okay. The voice acting was really rough at the start, but it got better. Like, everything was pretty okay. As far as video games go, it was actually pretty run-of-the-mill, pretty nice. And it had a nice setting. I liked the setting, medieval. It was all really cool. I liked that a lot. Top trophy earned is Virgin. Ultra rare. 0.1% ended this game as a virgin. This is probably the keynote for this place. I, being a real-life virgin, got to remain a virgin in the game. That means that I am a true and uncontested crusader. I am a crusader knight. That is what I am. I have taken a vow of chastity to be a crusader knight, the ultimate supreme form of a knight. And that's what I am. I was able to masquerade, I was able to LARP in the game as a knight. Very satisfying. The only thing that I didn't... The thing is in the game, you're not necessarily, like, important for being a knight. Basically, if you're in the service of a guy, you're a knight. The NPCs will talk to you as a knight only if you're wearing knightly armor, which is basically the plate stuff. Actually, I think even the chainmail, it looked like they were calling me a knight. But basically, all that is what it is. I enjoyed the game immensely from that perspective because it was silly as fuck. It was ultra silly. No, you can't even be gay. You're not even allowed to be gay. Chastity means that you cannot have sex at all. You can't use your penis for pleasure. That's it. I don't even think you can use it for procreation either. Your penis is 100% unused in terms of all the fun things you want to do with it. You can take a piss and that's about it. That's all you can really do. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. If I was going to be a knight, I wanted to be the coolest crusading Deus Vult. I wanted the Deus Vult. I wanted God to will it, and that's what I got. Now, the game didn't support much in that respect. I mean, there is no crusades. Like, I guess the Crusader Knights might have been, like, a while ago. So, it's not... it's a different part of the world and all that shit, too. So, it's not going to be that. It didn't support me in terms of being... the head honcho kind of knight that I wanted. It really didn't even play up the knight aspect much at all, other than just AI telling you, oh, you're wearing armor? You must be a knight. How are you going, Sir Knight? I'm honored that you're even interested. That's pretty cool. But it didn't mean anything. It didn't really go anywhere. It was just dialogue. It was just people saying, hey, you're a knight. Okay, here's the wares. It didn't really change much. Crusades were 200 years before this. There you go. So it's way out there. Still, it was a very fun... an enjoyable experience on that shit. I had a fun time. Virginity intact. This is one of those few times where me and my character can relate. We're both virgins. We both want to be knights. We're coming up from peasantry. We're very common people. And then that's that. That's that. I like that. I like that about this game. I'm probably going to reflect on my time with this game with a mix of dread of just like, ugh, everything takes forever. And then also, man, I was a virgin knight Deus Vult, yeah, with really cool combat. Nice big longsword. I like that they tried to do the whole aspect, the whole thing about trying to do like realistic, I forget what they call it, not LARPing, but there's like a real Western martial arts, with the sword and stuff. They really tried to implement that. They want, with the directional blocking and everything, they tried really hard to mimic how you would actually use a longsword and do techniques and stuff. Didn't go deep enough. That's all it did. Just didn't go deep enough. Didn't get to do ethnic cleansing. No, there was no Saracens to beat up. That's an unfortunate thing, but it's okay. It can't be perfect. It's an indie game masquerading as a AAA game. Can't ethnically cleanse. No, can't do it. No Saracens to combat whatsoever. You can't do it. But hey, it's fine. It is what it is. So, the very last thing, the very, very last thing about this game that really ought to be mentioned. I talked about everything else. There is this weird stigma about the main guy of this game being racist. And although the main guy has constantly screamed over Twitter about not being racist in any way, and he literally doesn't have anything, he has no dog in that fight. He doesn't care about anything like that. He just wanted to make a game that was historically accurate, and all the historians he referred to said, sorry, there's really not a lot of people of color. Maybe there was a few, but ultimately, it was just lots of white dudes running around killing each other, That's what this setting was. That's what historians were telling the guy. So the guy ran with it. It didn't put anybody in there. This game now has this weird stigma about, well, it's made by a racist, when it's not really that cut and dry. Like, if you look at it and think, okay, this guy decided not to have black people in it. That's one way to look at it. But you can also say, well, the guy did the research, was told there's no black guys, and thus he decided not to have black guys in it. That's two different thought processes, but they end in the same result. And so that is where a lot of people simply say, well, the guy is racist. If you play this game, it's a racist game. That's really quite unfair, but at the same time, it's really up to an individual to consider what is and is not appropriate. Because when you think about it, the end result is there's still no black guys. There's no black dudes in this game. And what if a black dude would have liked there to have been a black dude in the game? This is the thing about making a game and making a simulation, and this is kind of rolls under that carpet of what I complained about earlier. The game is so much purporting simulation that it cuts out a lot of quality of life video game features and things just to have that simulation aspect shoved in your face, and it drags the game down. To me, in just my viewpoint, not really including things like that, it doesn't do much or anything for me. I don't care. But that is kind of why, I mean, that's what I see when the guy is saying, I'm not racist, I just wanted to make a game that's historically accurate. To me, what I'm hearing is, I don't want to make a video game that everybody else makes. I want to make a video game based off what I want to make. And what I want to make is something that looks simulation, that is very historically, as historically accurate as I can do, yada, 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 etc., etc. So to me, it isn't about him being racist. It's about him having a vision, and he stuck way too hard to it. I feel like he stuck way too hard to the vision of being a simulationist game and not making it a full video game that is fun for people to play and pick up and be a video game. The guy did not want this to just be a video game. He wanted it to be an experience, a simulation, something. Atmospheric, something. He wanted that something. To me, it's an aspect that doesn't matter, but it does definitely require a little bit of discussion. Just a little bit, because frankly, it's game design. When you think about it, it's game design. Do you have black dudes or you don't have black dudes? It's so easy to just be like, yeah, why not? Whatever, just have some black dudes. It doesn't matter. And it's just like, it really isn't a big deal because video games are video games. They're meant for everybody, and you can do whatever you like. But then on that same argument, you can do whatever you like if you have no black dudes, and you have no black dudes. And then that's your game. That's your game. That's just what you got. And you have to look at that and say, am I really upset about it that I can't do it? I can't get with this game. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not for me. And that's definitely up to people's decision. People have to decide that. And in that case, I really strongly believe you got to vote with your wallet. Like, if you don't like that aspect, then you don't do it. And this is a good game to do it on because, frankly, if you don't play it, you're not missing a whole lot. But if you do play it, you're going to have some fun. So it's not like a massive title that you're missing out on. It's just a really interesting experience. A really interesting experience. I think it's an interesting game that they put together here. It's not much of a video game, more is like it is what I don't know, simulation. As much as it's a simulation, it's less a video game. That's the only real complaint I have about that too, is that it's not really meant to be sit here and obsess over. Monster Hunter is a fantastic video game, but it has absolutely no atmosphere or anything to it. It's clearly a video game. This one, a lot less so. It's so much something else. Yeah. I guarantee everyone say it's racist are all white. Probably. Black dudes are just like, yeah, whatever. I can't imagine black dudes are too upset because they know that, this type of thing happened off in some weird-ass area. It happened in Czech, whatever. Why would they care? I mean, I guess a normal person that wants to play video games isn't really going to factor in that as a thing too much. They're just going to be like, whatever. That's what I think. I think people are just looking to play a video game. And if the video game has what they like, they're going to be interested. If it doesn't have what they like, they're going to have to weigh kind of like, what is in there that I'm going to enjoy and what I'm not going to enjoy. And that's it. I really don't think the whole racist thing, I just don't think it plays that big of a factor. Maybe some people want it to, but I just don't see it. I think for the common man who plays games, it's not like that. It really isn't. As for who the guy that made this game is, I mean, he says he's not racist. So, I mean, he's defended himself pretty reasonably. I mean, he says that he's been told historically that this is how it was. I don't know. If some guy who is very learnt tells me how things were back in them days as a history, I don't know what else to do. Like, I mean, I would like to do something different. I mean, for me, it wouldn't even be a problem. Because I'd be like, well, I'm going to do some video game shit. And part of video game shit is to open up the doors to whatever I want to do. But this guy was like, what I want to do is be as simulation as possible, and so I'm going to be closing a lot of doors that way. I don't really like that approach very much, and I think that's where probably a lot of my problems come from. But in the end, it is what it is. People are going to have to make up their own minds on that one. At the very least, there's nothing in the game that is explicitly weird, I guess. Although there is an entry about the Jews, there is literally nothing that I could notice that, like, popped up about Jews. I don't think there's a codex in there that talks about Jews, and I don't think we dealt with any of them. I don't think they were ever, like, really... Was there anything in there that was like, oh, you're Jewish? Like, I don't remember anything happening with any of the characters in the game that revolved around being a Jew. Yet there is a codec in the game that tells you what Jews were like back in that day, or what it was like for Jews. But there's also one for women. There's one for everything in there. It's so weird. Nobody throughout history, nobody is like the Jews? Oh, jeez. Ah, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, in any case, it is what it is. Hopefully, I mean, this game has sold over 1 million copies. It's already a success. Personally, I think it's way too simulation. I think they need to do more video game stuff with it. I really do. I don't really care about that aspect of it because it largely doesn't mean anything to me. It just doesn't mean anything to me because I'm here for mechanics. I'm here to play a game. What I look at is a part of the process, but it's just a part of the process, and that's it. So to me, it's all about the mechanics. It's about what I'm doing, how I'm enjoying that. And I guess I enjoyed it pretty good. I enjoyed it enough to say that I like the game. I think it's a good game. It's just, it goes on forever. That's all. I mean, if they had more time, it probably would have been better. Yeah. More time, maybe. If they were a AAA company, I don't know how it would have gone. Because they would have needed to appeal to more people. They had another year to work on it. Yeah, probably. Just more time to polish it would have been great. I really think it would have been great. Yeah. More time to polish would have been great. In the end, I like the game. I think it's pretty cool. It sold well. I don't know what the future is. They'll probably fix it up. They'll probably get some DLC, and that will be that. But, as for that, I'm fucking glad. I'm fucking tired of this game, so I'm quite happy. Remove the disc. Oh my god, don't do that. And then delete this bitch. Because this thing has like 1 million gigabytes on my hard drive. This thing is like 40 gigabytes and then it